My connection with Ireland went back to 2003 when I was invited by HDN, the Health and Development Network, that led by Nadine. I was invited to be a key correspondent for the International Harm Reduction Conference in Chiang Mai, 2003. By then, we had no harm reduction in Vietnam. HIV epidemic in Vietnam was driven by injecting drug users. 80% of people living with HIV in Vietnam by then got HIV through drug injection. However, we had no harm reduction. And me, as a doctor by then, have no idea what harm reduction means. But being in the harm reduction conference gave me the chance to meet with people and to learn about harm reduction. After getting back to Vietnam, I started to work on harm reduction advocacy. So in 2006, we got harm reduction into the law. And then harm reduction has been rolled out in my country since then. But there's something, another important connection with the island that I want to share with you as well. As I will start with this video. People was asking me today what the t-shirt I am wearing. So it has acronym VCSPA, VCSPA. We call it VCSPA, you know. I'm from Vietnam, and VC, the people who've been through, knowing about Vietnam War would know VC, what it stands for. So we play with that, VCSPA. SPA is nice, and VC is what Vietnam has been known for. So, but it stands for Vietnam Civil Society Partnership Platform on AIDS. It started with an initiative by HDN, again, with Nadine, back in 2006, when Nadine was still in Chiang Mai. So Nadine, HDN, with the support from IRIS-AIDS, have that initiative of National Partnership Platform on AIDS, and we adopt that in Vietnam and develop this VCSPA. The video I'm going to show you is the video, it's a set of picture taken from our last meeting. We have an annual meeting that brings a representative of the community from all parts of the country together. So this platform was started in 2007. Bring all the community and civil society group in the country that work on HIV together to empower people, to make people feel that they are not alone. At the beginning, we had only people living with HIV. But then it's grown into something bigger. We started with 2 organizations, and now we have more than 500 organizations to be the member. And 500 organizations, most of them are the communities organizations of people living with HIV, people who use drugs, the sex worker, men who have sex with men, transgender people, and then of course we have young people, students, women, the family of people living with HIV. Now we have ethnic minority people, people who got out of prison, and you name it, all the people from all walks of life, from all parts of the country. What VCSPA has been doing is really to empower people, to give a safe space for people to be themselves, so people can stand up in the room full of people and say, I am a sex worker, which couldn't happen before. So this is what VCSPA is about. We are together, we inspire each other, we support each other, and we build the movement together.
Chỉ mong sao ngày hôm nay được sống nơi đây,
hạnh phúc cùng bao người đang ở bên tôi,
và tôi vẫn bước đoạn đường dài phía trước, dù ngày mai trông gai nào ai biết được.
buồn vui nước mắt nụ cười vẫn không ngừng trôi. Chọn những niềm vui để không phải tiếc nuối. Hạnh phúc một đời chỉ trong tầm tay thôi.
Chọn một niềm vui tối với bao tiếng cười. Giờ đây tôi có mỗi người, nụ cười mãi luôn trên bờ môi,
Thắp sáng lên những hy vọng
về một ngày mới.
Be happy, always smile. Sun will shine, just don't cry.
Be happy, always smile. You're by my side. I love my life.
Và tôi vẫn bước đoạn đường dài phía trước, dù ngày mai trong gái nào ai biết được.
We organize
Buồn vui
wedding
nước
as
mắt,
well.
nụ cười, cuộc đời vẫn không ngừng trôi.
Chọn những niềm vui để không phải tiếc nuối. Hạnh phúc một đời chỉ trong tầm tay thôi.
Chọn một niềm vui tối với bao tiếng cười. Giờ đây tôi có mỗi người, nụ cười mãi luôn trên bờ môi.
Thắp sáng lên những hy vọng về
Tôi
ngày mới.
đoạn đường dài phía trước, dù ngày mai trong gái
And we remember people who have passed away.
buồn vui ươm ấm nụ cười, cuộc đời vẫn không ngừng trôi. Chọn niềm vui để không phải tiếc nuối. Hạnh phúc một đời chỉ trong tầm tay thôi. Chọn một niềm vui tối với bao tiếng cười. Giờ đây tôi có mỗi người, nụ cười mãi luôn trên bờ môi.
So people often compare VCSPA, the platform, as a family that people look forward to return to. So we organize the meeting every year by the end of November. So every year people was asking, where's the meeting, when's the meeting? And many people compare coming to our annual meeting like returning home for test for our traditional New Year. So it is where people feel energy, find inspiration, feel connected, that they are not alone. So VCSPA has grown over the year. As I said, we started with 2 organizations, and now we have more than 500. We started with only people living with HIV, and now we have everyone. So every single person you saw in the picture, except for a few of us, the rest of the people are either living with HIV or being a sex worker or transgender people, and they can be proud to be themselves, and that is something that we have been very, very committed to, because when I started to work on HIV in 2001, HIV not only killed people because there was no medication by then, but it killed people also because of stigma. Some people could not stand it, they committed suicide, but other people live in fear and shame. So the partnership platform with the idea started with Irish people, and funding from the Irish Aid from the very beginning have really helped to break that stigma, to tackle that stigma and empower people. And I want to share with you another story that may just give you a bit more of the insight of what we have in Vietnam. Okay. Thank you. So I want to share with you the story of 2 people. Their name is Sơn and Tâm. Sơn is a man and Tâm is a woman. So before I prepared for this presentation, I asked their permission to share their story, and they agree. And I asked them to send me the photo, their picture of them before they came into the movement, before they involved with the community activity. So Son could send me this photo of him. He's a drug user. He was a university student when he started using drug. So he got addicted to heroin. He tried to detox many times without success. This is one of the effort of him trying to stay clean, to detox from drug. So you could see that. Tâm couldn't send me any photo. She said that she doesn't have any photo of her to send to me. Her mother passed away when she was 9 years old. 3 months later, her father went to get married to another woman, leaving her and her bigger brother, her older brother, to live with the uncle and auntie and from one family to another family. When she grown up, she sells sex. She do sex work to earn a living, also stealing and so on. So she was arrested many times, put in the detention center for sex worker, time and again, put in prison time and again. And in the meantime, she got HIV. Son also got HIV as he shared needle with other injecting drug user. So their life was very difficult, in and out of detention center. Son also detained many times as a drug user. So in my country, in Vietnam, before 2013, sex worker can be locked up for up to 18 months because of selling sex. And drug user can be locked up for up to 4 years because of using drug. So they've been in and out in the detention center many times. But then we have VCSPA in 2006. And in 2008, VCSPA we got a small grant from IRIS-S, exactly 10 years ago. And IRIS-S, a person called me up and say, we have an opportunity for a grant. Would you like to apply? Oh yeah. It's by this time, like Christmas time. And then we use that grant to support the development of the first drug user group in the country. So 2 first drug user group in Vietnam actually was established with the support from IRIS-S. And the son was involved in the group, and then he started getting better. And with the harm reduction, he got on methadone, and now he's stabilized on methadone. We also, in 2010, we get funding from the Global Fund for Civil Society. For it's the first time in Vietnam that civil society get to manage funding from the Global Fund that support community system strengthening. So with the funding from the Global Fund, we could fund drug user and sex worker organization. And Son and Tâm are involved in those organizations. So you can see them, they become active, they become positive about their life, and they live a very positive life. Also, with the support of the Global Fund, people get HIV treatment. So both Tâm and Son are on ARV, are on HIV treatment, and participate in the activity of the community system strengthening that the Global Fund support. Then they met each other through one of the our annual meeting, VCSPA meeting, by the end of November. It was in 2013. And you know, Christmas tree is not something we have very often in Vietnam. It's not everywhere like here. So they was fascinated by the Christmas tree. And that's why they took this picture. So that's why I have this picture of them with the Christmas tree. And a years later, they got married. And that is also during one of our annual meetings. So our annual meeting has become a wedding opportunity for the couple. Because many of them don't have money to have a big wedding. Many of them don't have a lot of friends who can attend the wedding. Many of them don't want people to gossip about their status or their behavior, their history, their past. So actually, VCSPA has been a wedding venue for many couples. So, and also for gay couples. So in this picture, you can see two gay couples on their lap, because nowhere else in the country you can have a gay wedding. So gay people, by our law still not recognize same-sex marriage. People can have a wedding, nobody would bother them now, but I mean, people would not show up to the wedding, and also nobody really recognized a wedding. So VCSPA meeting has become a wedding venue as well. And Tâm and Son become very active in the movement. Son now becomes the chair of the Vietnam network, community network for TB. He got TB 3 times. 3 times in the detention center for drug user, he got TB. He survived TB also because the Global Fund TB activity in treatment in Vietnam. So now he become very active on TB activity. And Tâm has been active in many areas, including HIV and the rise of sex worker. And it is the inspiration, the biggest inspiration for their life. They got a baby. This is a healthy baby. And because they are both of them are on ARV, so the baby can escape HIV. She's HIV negative, she's beautiful, and people really, like, it become a biggest motivation for Tâm and Son to live positively. About 2 years ago, Tâm came to me and say, I need your help. So what is that? She had no identification paper. So because she had no identification paper, she cannot have a merit paper. And not only that, she cannot have a bank account. She has no ID paper. She cannot get a proper job, because no ID in my country, that means you don't get a job. But what really worries her is that without identification paper, she cannot make a birth certificate for her daughter. And having no birth certificate means you cannot go to school. So, I mean, we worked with her on that, and she got an ID paper, and finally she could get a merit paper. She was very proud of it, and then she could get a birth certificate for her daughter. So this is just like a story of the people to want to share with you that how the support from the island have influenced life of people like Tâm and Son and many more, but also to share with you that, to show you that the people living with HIV actually have a multiple vulnerability. They are not only affected by HIV, but they are also left behind in many development aspects. So if we work with people living with HIV, the key population on HIV, we can really address many issues around development, education, opportunity for justice, equality, etc., you name it. And we have with all the work that we have done, we have gone a very long way. I want to share with you this photo. This would be the last photo of my presentation. And I want you to remember this photo. The person with wear glasses that stand in the middle of the photo is our Deputy Prime Minister. And the people around him, except for 2, the monk, who is very active in supporting our community, but then the other people are either living with HIV or sex worker or using drugs. And this, I find this photo is incredible. We didn't stage it. It's just the Deputy Prime Minister came to an HIV meeting, and our people just came to him and say, "Can I have a photo with you?" It would not happen 10 years ago. It would not happen. It's because these people the people who use drugs, sex workers, people living with HIV, was so highly stigmatized. You would never, the self-stigma would prevent them to come forward. But also the stigma from the higher up people, the government people, would prevent them to come close to people living with HIV and those key population as well. So this picture, for me, is quite extraordinary, and it speaks about the long journey that we have come to this day. However, we still have a lot of struggle. Every year in Vietnam, we still have 10,000 new infections. And we still have 3,000 people die of HIV every year. And people who use drugs are still being locked up in the detention center. We managed to do advocacy to close down the detention center for sex workers, but people who use drugs are still being locked up. Gay people cannot, the merit of gay people are not recognized. The transgender people have not been recognized either. So we still have a very, very long way to go. We have a people who have no identification paper and have no rights at all. And for the children. So although we have achieved a lot, and I would like to be here, to be in Ireland in person, to say a personal thanks to the Irish people for all the support that you may or may not know that provided to us through the HDN, through IRIS-S, through the Global Fund. And I really hope that the islands continue the way you have been, being a pioneer, being very humble and modest in your own way, but very effective. It really play a leadership role in development, in supporting the most marginalized and most vulnerable community. So thank you very much for having me, and thank you again, Ireland.